takes it in overtime. Brady can jump, breakaway shoots, scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon Plant and I am your host. Sorry about yet another handheld video. My floating shelves have not come in just yet, so I've not been able to finish the new studio, which is really annoying. But we still have a couple weeks to go until the regular season kicks off, so hopefully within the next week I'll have that all sorted out. But regardless of all of that, we have some big news today, ladies and gentlemen, as the Ottawa Senators have a new leader of the hockey operations, as Steve Staios, long rumored to be brought into the Ottawa Senators, has officially been brought in as the new president of business operations. Now, before we get into what this means for the Senators and for General Manager Pierre Dorion, here's a little bit of a backstory or background, on the newest president of hockey operations for the Ottawa Senators, Steve Staios. Well, Steve Staios recently was an advisor over in Edmonton with the Edmonton Oilers. He also has a connection with Michael Andlauer. He won 2 championships in 6 years with the OHL's Bulldogs. So, of course, him and Andlauer already have that winning connection with one another. But on top of all that, Steve Staios as well has played over 1,000 NHL games, so he knows the game very well. And going back just a second to the OHL, Steve Staios winning 2 championships in 6 years is very impressive in the OHL because there's a lot of roster turnover. So essentially he built 2 entirely different championship rosters within half a decade, essentially, just over half a decade. So that in itself is very impressive. He has that winning connection with Michael Andlauer, and of course he has that hockey experience, whether being a special advisor in Edmonton, of course, or as well playing over 1,000 NHL games. Now, what I'm going to be following moving forward here is what the philosophy of the organization is moving forward. It's needless to be said that under the last 6 years of Pierre Dorion's leadership as general manager, the leader of hockey operations, the de facto leader, considering it was literally him and Bowness, and then of course McTavish at one point, there's literally no one in the front office. I'm very intrigued to see, especially now with Pierre Dorion not being the boss, he's second in command. Steve Staios is now the boss as president of hockey operations. I wonder what the philosophy of this organization will be moving forward. And they kind of touched up on this in the press conference. We're going to talk about it, but it's going to be a collaboration approach between Staios and, of course, Pierre Dorion. We will have to see what that truly means. And I hope it's a fusion of a bunch of different hockey ideas and hockey minds, because everyone pitching in with perspectives will make this team a beautiful, fantastic team. Because when you have a bunch of different perspectives, usually a great product comes out of that. The big issue with Ottawa the last few years has been the fact that it's literally only been Pierre Dorion calling the shots. So having more voices in that hockey operations department will truly help this organization tenfold moving forward. So I really am intrigued to see what the philosophy of the organization is moving forward. Now, what's really interesting to me is, and I guess we'll get into it now, Pierre Dorion and Steve Staios, and you can see on your screen right here, I put out the quote, both mentioned this as a collaborative type of agreement, a collaborative type of approach between the two. While Staios is, yes, the leader, the boss, the one that Pierre Dorion answers to now, they will work together to make this franchise better. So Pierre Dorion will handle the day-to-day, and Steve Staios will handle the long-term. Now, what does this all mean? Well, that's a great question. But Steve Staios kind of gave us a sneak peek into what that can mean today at the press conference when he mentioned specifically Sean Turney, the recent hire as the director of analytics, as an example of how, the collaborative approach between Dorion and Staios can be used, where they can use analytics together to project the short-term and long-term future of this team. So for one, that's great. We have an idea of what this organization might do moving forward and what the philosophy might be. Staios also mentioned that while hockey analytics isn't everything, it's certainly a big part of building a winner. What we can truly see from here is that analytics will be a part of this franchise moving forward, which has not been something that could be said nearly in the entire existence of the Ottawa Senator franchise. So right there is a great step moving forward. See that the new leader of the hockey operations department is truly embracing analytics. And once again, to see already a bit of a sneak peek of how the president of hockey operations and the general manager might work with one another is a great sign, because of course DJ Smith will be involved in that. So it really appears that the management and coaching, everyone's going to be in tune. And I think that's a great thing, because the last thing you want is a power struggle between the general manager and president of hockey operations and management and coaching. So right off the bat, the fact that Steve Staios is committed to having a collaborative approach with Pierre Dorion, and of course, I assume the coaching staff as well, by extension by Pierre Dorion running, the day by day. That is a very healthy approach, and I'm very excited to see that because once again, you never know how these things are going to go. It's just like goaltenders in a tandem. You can have that mutual respect, but competitiveness will come in the way sometimes, and job security as well. So right off the bat, they're making it clear that this is a collaborative approach. Each person has specific duties. You're not going to overstep. You'll only help if asked upon. It's a great sign. And once again, just going back to analytics, the franchise obviously has really not taken a step into analytics. So once again, I'm not a believer that analytics is everything, but it certainly is a big part in building a winner, no doubt about it. It's a big part in finding players that have sneaky good value and can help your team win, whether that's to save cap space or just to maximize value in your top six or whatever it is. Analytics can help, but it's not everything. So the fact that the Senators are at least bringing in analytics somewhat is a great sign because they've never really touched it to begin with. So I'm excited to see how that expands under Steve Staios as well. Because once again, it's not everything, but to people, for some reason with people and hockey analytics, I'm just going to go on a bit of a tangent here for a sec. For some reason with hockey analytics, it's black and white for some people. People are fully for it or fully against it, and I don't understand that. I'm in the middle. It helps teams win. It helps teams find outliers, but it's not everything. There's other explanations for hockey side of things as well. So it's definitely a big part of the puzzle, but not the entire puzzle. So I just wanted to mention that because I don't understand the black and white nature of this debate. Hockey analytics are a great tool, but they're not everything. Now, besides that, I am excited to see how that goes and other parts of this collaborative approach between the general manager and the president of hockey ops goes as well. Now, I just want to wrap up the video quickly by mentioning a couple of key quotes from Staios and, of course, Pierre Dorion from the press conference today. Steve Staios, when asked what his goal or mandate or vision is as the president of hockey operations, mentioned, and I quote, to be the best in class in the National Hockey League. And after years of turmoil around this organization, where a lot of players literally put Ottawa on their list of no trade lists, they wanted to not be anywhere close to Ottawa because of the turmoil around the franchise. To see that the new leader of the hockey operations department is making it a goal to be best in class, to create a great environment for the players, for the staff, for everybody, is an encouraging sign of what's to come and a real breath of fresh air after years of turmoil and frankly anguish around this organization. So to see that from the president of hockey ops, Steve Staios, right off the bat is also a great sign because once again, I think the culture around the organization right now is much better, especially compared to a few years ago, but can only get better from here, I think. I think there's still some work to do, as Steve Staios mentioned as well in his press conference, and I'm really excited to see how he makes this a great franchise for the staff, for the fans, and most importantly for the players as well. Now, I just want to leave off with this. Michael Andlauer literally started the press conference by reassuring everyone that the Ottawa Senator general manager is Pierre Dorion. Steve Staios mentioned that the only thing that's going to change for Pierre Dorion is the fact he's going to have more hands on deck to help him out. And Pierre Dorion himself even said he was ecstatic about the prospect of having more help and more voices in hockey operations for the Ottawa Senators. And I quote, he said during today's press conference, "I'm really excited about this new addition. It's great for us as an organization. It's no secret that in the past, I've almost begged for help. So for myself personally, when Michael Andlauer brought the idea up to me, I was very excited about that idea." And I think that says it all. The fact that Pierre Dorion, under the previous regime, literally begged for help, unfortunately didn't get it, but now is, shows that this is a welcome addition for Pierre Dorion as well. So just on that point of having a healthy environment between the heads of state, I guess you can call it, I think that's a great sign that there's going to be a real good organic relationship between Staios, of course, Pierre Dorion, and management and coaching. So that's all I got to say about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, welcome to Ottawa, Steve Staios. And I think, once again, this is a great addition because Staios seems to have a great mindset and a great vision for this franchise. And it truly never hurts to have more voices and more experience in your front office. So with that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Go Sens, go.